Key takeaways of this lesson: differ helps with cleanup tasks like flow control statements in Golang, advanced use cases of differ. Advanced use cases of differ in Golang. Now that you understand the basics of differ, let's explore some advanced real-world examples where differ can be practically useful. Benchmarking execution time, logging function exits, cleaning up temporary files, differing loops, handling database transactions, graceful shutdown in servers. As we are still in programming fundamental stage in this video series, I'm not going to dive deep in these topics, but I will go through one by one with some code snippets. Later in this series, I will explain this once again in detail. Benchmarking execution time. You can use differ to measure the execution time of a function. In this code example, we can see that we have a main function. As the very first line of that function, we have start variable which initialize with time.now. Then we have our differ anonymous function. Inside that anonymous function, we have variable called duration, which calculate time since the start time. Then we print it as a execution time. Outside the anonymous function, we have some sleep timeout to simulate some work done here, like time consuming work. After that done, we print work done. Why we use differ here? Differ ensures that execution time calculation happens after the function completes without cluttering the main logic. Let's run this code. Logging function exits. When debugging or tracking execution flow, differ can log when function enter and exit. In this code example, we can see that we have a couple of functions. One calls another and that one calls another function and returning values here and there. This kind of flow kind of difficult to track in real world scenarios, so we use differ here. Differ helps to track function execution and makes debugging easier here. Let's run this program and see what happens. Let's run this program and see how the logging works. Cleaning up temporary files. When working with temporary files, differ ensure they are deleted automatically after use. In this code example, uh, inside the function main, at the very first line, we create our temporary file. Then we have some error handling. I will discuss about this error handling in upcoming videos. Then we have differ statement to remove the file. Then we have differ statement to close the file. Remember, differ stack. Then we have our print statement, temporary file created with file name. Why use differ here? It prevents resource leaks and ensure temporary file doesn't accumulate. Here we have our code example. I have done simple modification to simulate some work here at line 18. Let's run this. We can see that file is created and after some time that file is gone. Differing loops, capturing variables. Sometimes, when differing inside a loops, variable scope can lead to unexpected behavior. In this code example, we have our main function. As the first line of the main function, we have print statement, different loops execution. Then we have our for loop. Inside that for loop, we have another print statement which comes with differ keyword. This is the output of this program. We have deferred 2, deferred 1, then deferred 0. Why does this happen? Defer store the variable of I at the time it executed. Since defer follows last in first out order stack, the last deferred statement runs first. Let's run this program and take a look at it. Let's run this program here. At the very bottom of the stack, we have deferred 0, then we have deferred 1. At the very top, we have deferred 2. Last in, first out. Handling database transactions. In database operations, defer can ensure transactions are properly committed or rollback. Here in this code example, we have created a connection to PostgreSQL database. Then we defer db.close to ensure db connection is closed at the very end of this main function. Then we start a transaction. Then we defer transaction rollback. We use rollback if something went wrong. Then we work on some database operations. Then we commit that transaction. Why use defer here? Ensure database connection is closed after execution. Ensure transaction is rolled back if something went wrong. Graceful shutdown in servers. When running a Go web server, you should gracefully shut it down when the program exits. In this code example, we have create HTTP server which listen to port 8080. Run the server in separate Go routine so the main thread is not blocked. Call server.listen and serve to listen for the HTTP request. If the server encounter an error, it print an error log. Then we have our graceful shutdown handling. Create a channel stop that listen to OS signals. Signal.notify function will captures any control plus C or termination signals. Ensure that the program can handle shutdown signals properly. The main thread blocks here until it receives termination signal. Then it print shutting down the server. Then we defer the server.close. Why use defer here? Ensure server resources are properly freed when application stops. Let's run this code and take a look at it. Here we have our example code. Let's run this. Then the server will start on port 8080. Then we press Control C to send some interruption signal. Then it gracefully shut it down and free the resources. Key takeaways of this lesson: Differ helps with cleanup tasks like closing files, unlocking mutexes, and releasing resources. Deferred function execute in last in first out order. Differ simplifies error handling and recovery using recover. Useful in database transactions, login, graceful shutdowns, and benchmarking execution time.